All righty, everybody. How are we all doing today? This is Tony from Six String Corner, and good to see you. I'm here live in our RV, traveling the country in someplace in the Midwest. Of course, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I'm at, but we're traveling around, and fortunately, in my RV, I have a nice little setup right here, right in front of me. We have a big RV, and on the one side here, I've got Temper over there. I've got my pedal board down below. I've got the computer here. I've got you right there. So that's pretty awesome. And so I'm just sitting here jamming and playing and, enjoying the warm, lovely day where I'm at right now. So good to see you. And again, I'm here to show some songs, or not some songs, some blues. More specifically, I'm going to show you some really cool little, I don't know if I want to call it a trick, but it's a nice little thing to know, a bit of knowledge you can know when you're playing blues stuff like I did right there. It doesn't have to be that kind of blues, but some kind of blues like that. And I'm just going to touch the bare bones beginning. I've only got X amount of time. And so I'm going to just give you the bare bones. I'm going to show you this is what you can do. This is what's possible. Now, of course, if you want to know more, if you want to learn more, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can probably find a billion, well, probably too many billion videos on YouTube to find this type of stuff. But probably what's better is to get some close one-on-one private instruction. Yeah, of course, I'm going to promote myself for that. But I do have three openings left. And if you DM me, leave a comment below, or I'll be sure to get in touch with you and we can set up an online lesson free. I don't even charge it right now. So, see if you like it, see if I like it, and make it maybe to work. And then we can dig deeper. Okay, fair enough. I just want to set the ground rules there before we get started, because I am going to show you a couple of things that I think, well, one thing particular, but one way of soloing to the blues. Now, you may not be a solo player. That's fine. Maybe one day you will be. And even if you're not, I think if I can show you how this all works and how it sounds really good playing blues, and it doesn't always have to be blues, but generally it's the blues. You might be interested in maybe just picking up a few licks here and there. You don't have to be a lead guitarist. It's fun just to play a melody, just see what happens. Okay. So what we're going to do here today is I'm going to simply, we're going to give you like a Cliff's Notes version of some guitar theory, which normally would take many lessons, but I'm going to give you just a quick theory thing. So at least you know, you have an idea what I'm talking about, why I'm talking about it. And then from there, you can decide if, you know, you want to pursue this further. But you're going to find out how cool this is. If you have some knowledge of pentatonic scales, so that's what we're going to talk about, the pentatonic scale. We're not really even getting the blues scale. I know why we when you have to talk about the blues scale in blues. We could, and we probably would. That's an extension of what I'm going to show you here. But we're just going to do bare bones, dirt minimum. This is what we're going to, I'm just going to give you an idea. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do blues in A. Okay. I was just doing a little jam there. I just pulled it off YouTube as a backing track. I can probably use that for an example. In fact, I think I probably will. And give you a demonstration on what you can do here. So now we're going to look at the pentatonic scale. So some of you may know it, some of you may not. If you don't know it, that's okay. I can make sure that you have a way of finding it out. I can put some links down below if you need it, and you can get tabs to that to the pentatonic scale. But we're going to look at the pentatonic scale, and we're going to look at it in A. Now, I didn't say A major or minor, because what we're going to do is we're going to combine the A major with the A minor. We're going to play them. What I'm going to do here, just to get things started, is going to play them separately. Okay. I was kind of doing that in the jam you just did. I don't know if you caught it or if you can hear the difference, but it definitely has a different feel to it, where you can play the major pentatonic, which sounds a little more brighter, a little more happier, and then the minor pentatonic, which sounds a little more darker. Minor pentatonic is used a lot in rock and blues. You probably know the minor pentatonic really well. The major pentatonic looks like the minor pentatonic. In fact, exactly the same. Okay, so here we go. Let's do a little bit of quick theory. All right, so you ready? I'm going to just dig into like 2 minutes of that. Literally, I'm going to try and keep it to 2 minutes. And I'm going to give you a little bit of theory. If you want to know more, again, ask me. I will get back to you, and just leave a comment. DM me if you're over on Facebook, and I'll get back to you and point you to some resources that'll help you out here. But all right, in scales, all right, major or minor scales, we generally have 7 notes plus the octave, right? 7 notes plus the octave. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we looked at, let's say, the A minor, all right, look at the A minor pentatonic scale. Actually, not even that, A minor scale. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. So very simply, and you can, if you know the A minor chord, play an A minor chord and tell me what notes are in it, right? Pick one, it doesn't matter. Play one right here, cowboy chord. Okay, that distortion out of there just for a minute. All right, so right here you have an A minor. What notes do we have? We have an A, we have a E, another A, and a C. So you have A, E, C. Okay, A, E, C. All right, that's what makes up the A minor. Okay, now in music theory, there is what makes a minor chord is a set of well, let me simplify this. I don't want to get too over the technical. There's 3 notes, right? A, C, and E, right? So when we draw out the scale chromatically, what do we mean by that? A, just take them in order, right? A sharp, B, C. Just go along. Take a look at the A string right here and just count your note. Name your notes all the way. Each fret is part of a chromatic scale, right? A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D sharp. And we just take this all the way down the line until we get to A. Okay, that's called the chromatic scale. Okay, so each is one note, just follows the other. That's all. So the major, let's talk about the minor. The minor chord is A, and then here's your C, and here's your E. The C is what's called a minor third away from the A, and the E is what's called a perfect fifth away from the A. So you know that, you know it now. You can learn more later, but just take me on my word. So what we do here is then we look at the A major. The A major chord, pick wherever. I'll just play this one right here. What notes do we have? We have an A, we have an E, and an A, and a C sharp. A, C sharp, E. Okay. Let me stop right there. So the C sharp is what's called a major third away from the A. But do you notice we got two notes that are the same between both, right? There's A and there's E. I think that's why they call the that perfect fifth. I don't know. I'm not like that wizardry of that stuff, but I know that the fifth is the same for major and minor. So when we play stuff like, say, the blues, right? E and A, right? There's A, D, and E. If we never play that third, remember I talked about that third in the chord, the same thing in the D and the E. We don't play that third. We just play the first note and the fifth, the original note and the perfect fifth. That whole sequence there, right? D. I'm not playing any minors or major. Here's the E. Here's the C. If I add the majors and minors, here's a major. Right, but that would mean we're in the major scale. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do this. So if we have the A, D, and the E, what we can do is then take the corresponding pentatonic scale. You tracking with me so far? Hopefully you are. So let's just take the minor pentatonic, and I'm going to use this form. Okay, this is an important one too. Is I'm going to use this form. Usually, it's one of the first ones people learn. We're going to do it in A minor, right? All right, this is the A minor pentatonic scale. Now, if we want to do the A major pentatonic scale, it looks kind of the same. We just start in a different place. See, the shape is the same. We just start in a different place. That's your A. Your A major. All right. But if you play the A minor, we don't start here with the little finger. No, we play here with the pointer finger. All right. So here's your A minor, and here's your A major. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be able to play those two scales on the same blues jam. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to demonstrate here. Okay. And believe it or not, this lesson's not going to be that long. I think hopefully you can grasp what I'm talking about. Really, my goal here is to hopefully you can hear it. And that's really so that you can understand why it's so useful to know both. So let me go back to this blues jam. All right. I think you should hear it. All right. So now this is a basic blues jam. There are no thirds. In other words, there's no major chords and there's no minor chords. All right. There's only just. All right. Here's the minor. Play a minor pentatonic. Just the same position I talked about. All right. So now let's talk about the minor pentatonic. If you're kind of new to soloing, what you can do with this minor pentatonic is if you're brand new and you're trying to figure out how do I play the, well, you could just do the scale, right? Right, and that would be fine. Watch, I'm just gonna like I'm just practicing my scale, right? And you can make it into a fun jam. cool, huh? So if you're practicing, just find a backing track that's a blues. That'll let you play major and minor, and just go practice your scales. Now, if you know a little more, then you do what I was doing before. Right? Now, the other thing that you want to do, let me turn it off real quick. So the other thing you want to do when you're doing that is, and I'm not going to get too heavily into this because this is probably a whole other lesson or two, but I focus on what's called the tonic center. Tonic center, what is that? That's actually the note that names the scale, right? So if we're playing A minor pentatonic, we want to know where our A notes are at. So there's an A note here, an A note here, and an A note here. Okay, this is that pattern that I've been playing. So I'm going to play and kind of, let's see, how can I tell this so you can get it really quick? It's just sort of like just telling a story, right? So you're just going to play a phrase, kind of like a phrase, like a poetry line or something. I don't know. Just check this out. Check this out. I'm going to play just two notes here, right here. These right here. So I'm just resolving on that A note. You can let it rest. Right? Basic. 4 notes. But I would try to resolve, like I'd play a little lick, play a little something, and then you end on that A and just let it sit there for a second. Maybe wait for a bar or two to end, right? And then come back and play again. You just repeat the same thing over and over if you're completely new to this. But if you are a little more versed in it, then obviously you want to land on the A's where you can. Right? So we're just going to land on that A. That A is our tonal center. We're just going to land on that and land on it and land on it. And like I said, there's a whole set of lessons I can do beyond here, but just take it my word for it. If you just learn this shape here, which is a very common, usually it's, if you're learning a pentatonic scale, this is the pattern you're probably first going to learn right here. Okay, so just working with that pattern, and that's all you got to do. All right, that's the minor pentatonic. Okay, now let's talk about the major pentatonic. Remember, the major pentatonic is down over here. You notice I'm actually starting with the same note. This note right here, right? The 5th fret over on the low E, right? Actually going here. All right. So we're starting the same notes. We're kind of connecting the two a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to play the major pentatonic. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. All right, it's got a different feel to it, right? It's got it feels more uppity, right? But again, but like I said before, though, we can play that on, this is the same jam. I haven't changed the jam, right? So I'm doing the exact same jam that I was doing earlier. And so all I'm doing now is I'm focusing, and I'm going to focus again, same thing. Remember, talking about the tonic center, the note that names the scale. So here's your A in this pattern. Here's your A here, and here's your A here. So we're going to focus on these 3 A's, right? So go back to the earlier example. All right, what I was doing, I was just doing these 2 notes here, or sorry, 4 notes on these 2 strings. So we'll do the same 4 notes here on these 2 strings, right? Same pattern, except now instead of the A being here in that pattern, it's going to be here where the pointer finger is. Okay, now watch. I'm just going to focus on those 4 notes. I'm going to do exactly what I did earlier, and I'm going to just keep it really super simple. Super simple. Words, speaking words. Okay, so what am I doing there? Same thing. I'm focusing on the tonic sound of the A note, and I'm just sort of moving around a little bit, right? But I try to end that phrase, you know, whatever phrase I'm making, you can make up whatever you want, series notes, but try to find a spot where you just sort of end and you let it land. Let it rest for just a second. Let that note sort of like it ends, kind of like a period in the song, right? In a sentence, right? Just gonna let it resolve, boom, off to the next sentence, right? So it's kind of like that. So now we demonstrated that we could do both the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic to the same blues jam, right? I said these are actually 7 chords. Well, let's not get too deep into that, but the majors, you can play the major and the minor on this thing. So what we're going to do now, all right, is I'm going to play them both. And I'm going to do one first. I'm going to do the minor first, and then I'm going to switch over to the major first. And you tell me, or you can learn for yourself on how different they sound. Okay, here we go. Start with the minor. Doing this, just the 4 notes. Now here's a major. Minor. Back to major. Minor. Major. Pretty cool, huh? I'm actually shifting between the major and minor pentatonic scales. And you notice it sounds different each time. You know, like I said, I'm gonna play more of the notes now through that whole scale, so you can kind of get more of a better feel for how different it sounds. Okay, so now let me go back to the beginning of this, and I'm gonna play. I'm going to play the first set of bars in minor, and then I'm going to switch over to major. Now I'm going to use the whole pattern that I just showed here in the minor, and then the whole pattern here on the major. Okay, so here we go. All right, up to the major. All right. Funky ending. But that's how you can put those two together. So now when you just expand it out, when you start to learn the rest of the major and minor pentatonic scales, which, by the way, if you know the pattern for one, you know the pattern for the other, right? Because you just start at a different place, right? Here's the minor shape. I'm starting it right here. The major shape is right here. Same shape, same, the fingers are going the same pattern, right? Even the same thing on the minor. Now when you learn the rest of the pentatonics, you just sort of expand that outwards, and now all of a sudden you can play, all these different notes, and you're just opening your palette a little bit. So here we go. Let me close this out. I'm going to do a now I'm just going to expand this out. So I haven't talked about the rest of these scale patterns, but just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Here we go. I'm going to do just a couple of bars, a couple of sets here of the to the minor and over to the major. Here we go. Here's minor first. All righty, folks. So that is how you can put together the two, the minor and the major pentatonic, and play them together on a blues jam. As long as the blues jam doesn't imply a major or minor, in other words, it's emphasizing minor chords or it's emphasizing major chords, which it can do, and there are ways of doing that. And there's tons and tons of examples you can find on YouTube for that. But we're playing just like basic blues where there's no minors or majors implied. This is when you could do this. What's really cool is if you got two lead guitar players, you're kind of like playing off of each other on a blues jam. It's really nice to do that. It gives a very different feel where one player will maybe play it minor and the other guy plays it in major, and it just sounds there. It just gives the listener is going to hear that difference. It's a little more refreshing to hear it that way. So that's what you can do, and that's your major, minor, pentatonic used on the blues. Now, of course, you can add other things. You can do the blues scale. There's what's called a mixed lydian mode. We'll be playing that. We didn't get into that today. I was just covering the basics, just the very, very, very basics, down and dirty. So thanks for watching. If you're here live, if you're watching afterwards, of course, thank you so much for joining in as well. Just leave me a comment if there's any more that you want to know about this. If you're interested, I got 3 spots for lessons, at least as of this date. Of course, this video will get old, and I may not have them, but close you are to the date, just leave me a message. Just like I said, leave a comment, leave me a message, and I'll be sure to get back to you. We can get some one-on-one lessons going, or you can grab what do I got down there? Tab library, 16-corner tab library, all kinds of tabs and stuff. I'll try and dump the A minor pentatonic and the major pentatonic patterns in there. So you have that for you. It's not there at the second live, but it'll be there. And then, and then guitar finger gymnastics too. It's free videos just to work your fingers out. Get your fingers to the gym. All right, that's about it. And I'm going to close this one out. I do appreciate it. Thank you for joining in. It's a pleasure talking to everybody. I just love doing this stuff every week. And I hope that this is something you can get. I'm going to have something else next Thursday. We'll see. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I make this up like last minute. So I'll come up with something next week that'll be fun. It'll be a song, could be a jam. I don't know. And then we'll go from there. All right. So otherwise, I'm going to stop talking. Peace out. Rock on. And I will talk to you all on the next one. Bye-bye.